Hi, Blind Guy Garage. I'm going to do my best. Hopefully this video will be complete. Just trying to get ready to put a new carb. Ta-da. That's the top. Put a new carb on this Yamaha Big Bear. It's sat outside for like, I don't know, 2 years or something like that. Carburetor completely gummed up. I don't know if you can see, probably not. I tried to get it where, but tried to get the choke cable to come out of the carburetor, and it sprayed some brake clean and lubrication off in there, and it will not come out. And when I sprayed the stuff off in there, all it did was shoot rust back out of it at me. So got a new one, and hopefully this dude is plenty long enough. It feels like it's going to be. I've bought one before. Just get those from the dealer. Even if you're buying cheapo carbs and stuff off Amazon or eBay, that's fine. Those, I mean, it's a gamble if they work, but when they do, it's worth it. But these right here, they're all over the place on what they want for them, and you never know if it's the right one, or the wrong length, whatever. So you get the exact part number from the dealer. It makes it a lot easier. This one, I think I'm going to have to remove it with a pair of bolt cutters, because I've been trying to get it to come loose and come off before I did the video, and it will not come off. So next step is the aggressive. I got it tangled up. Something's tangled up around it. Another throttle cable. Why would I don't know. People sometimes, I don't understand why, if it was me, why I would have put a throttle cable over the bolt cutters, but I don't think I did that. Anyhow. Yeah, we shouldn't have to do it this way, but this one's a little more broker than normal. I'm going to try to cut from up here. I'm going to make sure I'm cutting the right thing here. Yeah, it's mostly cut. There it went. A little overkill on the bolt cutter situation, but that's the only size I got, and they're good bolt cutters, 40 years old, whatever, older than me. So now just start pulling the stupid newly now destroyed choke cable, because it wouldn't come out of the carburetor, out of the machine. And we got a vent tube from something I got to put back up in there, because the plastics came out, the little, what you call it, gotta go get, I don't have any tools here. Oh, and it's got like completely rotten fuel in it, so I keep, every time I move something, you get to smell that wonderful aroma. It's the most god-awful smell. And these little clips are legit. You can't get them off. I gotta go grab a flathead screwdriver now to pop them apart. And probably stab my hand and make me feel real good. Not a day of blind guy mechanicking unless I hurt myself somehow. And I have a feeling a lot of people don't think that I'm doing that bad. When I say ow, that it's not that big a deal. A lot of times, it's pretty good. It's a pretty bad injury here. Like fingernails are turning black and stuff like that. See if I can do this without removing any skin from my hand. There's one. We'll put that up here. We probably have enough. They're not being too much of a bear to pop loose. I don't know why I look at this stuff. I can't see it. I just keep looking at it though. I guess I'm trying to use sonar. I don't know. But there's the, look, it won't come out of the carburetor. This is the rest of the inside of the cable. I'm moving the four-wheeler with the cable, and it's supposed to just slide right out of that carb. I'm trying to avoid taking the tank and a million things off of the four-wheeler just to get the carburetor out, because, well, it takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of time. I think we've got, I thought I got the throttle cable unhooked. We'll see here. Maybe I did not. The plate that covers the throttle is in the way. No, I got it unhooked. It's just, there, that came out of the carburetor. Now maybe. And it's going to be a good idea to try to make a mental note, or for you seeing-eye people, maybe take a few pictures of what you're doing. I don't have that luxury. Used to do that stuff. Then got to where I couldn't see to tell what I was doing, so, or what I took a picture of. Stay. So now, I just do things the way I do things, you know. So we're getting closer. It keeps hanging up. What is it hung on now? What do we got? Oh, okay. Let's try to remember. See, we got that double. There's that nasty turd. Okay. I'm sorry about the rooster. It's not mine. and it likes to crow all day long. He's an inconsiderate little jerk. I think I drained the tank, but it's still dripping some stanky stuff. That's some ranky dank gas right there for sure. Ranky danky stanky manky. I don't know. Just make it up as I go. That's what I do every time. I don't know what I'm doing out here. Alright. We have a nice little block off plate. So I guess stuff doesn't get into there. And the slide sounds like it's pushing air pretty good, pretty good. We have our choke right yonder. So I reckon I'm going to try to thread this choke cable back up in the machine like that. It's got to go up the frame in front of the tank. Oh, and by the way, buying this from the dealership wasn't wasn't any more expensive than buying it off Amazon. Don't ask me how. I have no clue. It just wasn't. So this end is going to go in the carburetor because it may not be able to be seen once I get down there with it. It's going to go, and you got a little barrel, a spring, and a barrel that goes over this. And then the spring holds the barrel in place over this little nipple on there. I don't know if y'all can. And then this goes into the thumb control up here. So you gotta take the thumb control apart because this goes in there kind of like a brake cable on a bicycle or something. I'll go slower, so maybe. But anyway, so then when you manipulate the little thumb thingamajig, it moves the cable, moves the barrel back, lets more fuel through the carburetor in that area, and gives you your choke. So and I mean honestly, routing is not horribly important, except for the fact you don't want to make it too terribly off, because when you turn the steering, the handlebars, it can cause you to pull the choke, and it'll make it run funny. But there's like holes and stuff all up through here where you can tell that that's where it goes, you know. You've got a little bar welded, like a little hoop welded on the frame that directs you into place too, because it's got to lightly turn the cable to go up. And so we're going up. And sometimes I end up having to route them a little differently because when the machine is being built, I mean, it doesn't have the body on it and all this. When they put all this on here, it just has the what you see part. So you don't get to, so unless you tear it, sometimes unless you tear, not all the time, but unless you tear the machine completely down, you do not get to put the stuff back the way it was, because it's going to take the front fenders and the tank and all that stuff off just so that they can run a choke cable back in its stock location, and putting it where I'm putting it is just fine. So which I'm not saying this is not the stock location, because it is basically. And I'm going to give myself a little bit more play up here at the top. Whoop. So that I can pull it to me down here. But anyhow, we're routed. You just gotta get those one of these plastic camouflages here. What are they called? The kajiggers. That's a technical term, I believe, is the kajiggers. See here. Yeah, see they have a little slide. There's a tab sticking off the frame. This slides over the tab, this clap, and then this snaps back down over this stuff. So. And now you can see why a blind person can do this stuff, because you can't see that. And who is about to take all that off so you can see it? Just finger it out. Alright, I know there's another one up here. I put it there. Y'all saw me do it. There it is. I found it. Okay. I'm about to put, don't you fall. So the last thing I need to do is drop the new carburetor on the concrete floor. Alrighty, we got both the clip doos on there. So now when I get ready to put that vacuum hose, well, this is a vent from the rear diff. Goes all the way down there to vent the diff up here. So when people are, put that in the wrong spot. When people are riding their four-wheeler in the creek like they're not supposed to. Can't get that one to pop off. It popped right off. Taking the hose off. Here a minute. Okay. There it is. That's where it goes. Way up here in front. There we go. Snapped in. Alright, we already have another one of those on that hose. Where I was manhandling this, I popped them off, so it's no biggie. This one's got a wire harness tied to it a little bit. That goes to the carburetor. Yep, the carburetor has wires going to it. I think it's a little heater to help with cold start, is what they are. There's a little doodad you got to put on there from the. I've not seen. Not all aftermarket carbs come with the little doodad that you plug in on there. And it's not like on a mower how that's a fuel solenoid that turns the fuel off or anything. It's just there. And I think all it does. Is get hot, because I haven't tested on them before. Well, no, I'll take that back. I did test on one a long time ago, and to see what that was. I'm like, what is that? And it tried to burn my fingers. But a lot of these aftermarket carbs are not designed to have it. I think this one has a block off screw in the spot where it goes. Right here. So, whoop. They had a little, they were trying to keep dirt out of this one. They had the block off thingy and the other thingy and another block off thingy. What was that? Oh, bull crap. the choke just fell out. I guess should have done whatever. No, it didn't. I'm wrong. It's still stuck in there. What was that? I don't know. I gotta take all this off too. Anyway, it's gotta come off and go on the new carb. But we got that little guy right there. In our climate, it's really not necessary. These start pretty fine off of the choke and do pretty good without worrying about it. I don't even hear the float moving in this thing. But and it just stinks so bad. Stinky. Alright, so now I gotta do some of this is some pretty tricky business. So like getting the throttle cable back in here is a pain. Especially when you cannot remember what you did with the little barrel that holds the throttle cable, but it should have been, there should be a new one in the carburetor kit, I would hope. And now see so there's the spring, there's the fitting that goes on the end of the cable liner. I've got to find my screwdriver because they put the drum down in here and you can't get the drum out by slamming the carburetor down or nothing, because you know that'll tear it up. So you get to move it and fish it out. There it goes. All right. Don't drop it. Don't set it right there. It'll go down to the floor. All right. So this has a little hole in the side of it. And then, where'd I put it? Yeah. Yeah, looking for it. Where'd the spring go? There it is. Okay. The spring goes on the back, like right chaw. Just like that right there. This cable comes down through there, goes into that little hole, and you got to compress this spring and put this on the end of the cable housing, and you compress everything, and it's not light. It's not a light spring. And do all that so then it all stays together, and then that little needle slides in and out of a orifice inside the carburetor, lets more fuel through. Does more of the fuelization thing to make the device start, instead of doing like I guess they have to do it that way because of the slide carburetors. There's not really a butterfly to shut. So I don't know if y'all can see it. I'm trying to get it on there and do that, and then you gotta get your cable stuck all the way out, because now you got to take and run the stupid spring through and compress that with 2 fingers. And some of these do not give you enough room to do this, but that one went pretty easy. Ta-da! Now don't jank around with it too much, because it will pop off and you'll lose it forever, because a lot of times they're not magnetic. So it's not like you can just dig them out of the crevice that it falls into inside the engine. Not like inside the internal parts of the engine, but inside the, out here where like the transmission, you got a little crevice inside there and stuff. Oh yeah, the next fun thing is getting the throttle cable put in. That's actually a for me, it seems to be quite a chore at times to get that hooked up. Mainly because, well, I can't see and I can't hold. There's a doohickey in here, so I never remember where I put those things. I take them out of the original carburetor and immediately forget where I put them. I don't know. Y'all, it's... Hey, they put multiple in here, I think. Or no. Hey. I may have done myself the right way this time. I think I pulled the original out and then immediately came over here to the card box and put the keeper, I guess you'd call that. Oh, there goes that screw. We got to put a box that's got holes all in the bottom of it instead of putting tape across the bottom of a box, whatever. I immediately put the keeper inside of the plastic bag that the keeper for the new carburetor was in. So, yay me. Yeah. That's what I did. Alrighty then. So now we're going to take. Where is the new carburetor? New carburetor, I think, is sitting down there. Is it right here? Yeah, I see it. I think I see it. Yep, I see it. Alright. Now I'm going to shove this down in the hole. And got to, similar to the choke, let me come over there. Try to get this. Hopefully I ain't got no customers wanting to come by. It's supposed to be storming today, and it just didn't storm. So forgive me if the lighting's low. Look at that little guy. So what you do is, you run the cable through here. That's right through there. You run it down through here, and you got to lay it on top of that cam. I wasn't even in frame, I don't think. You come through here. This is almost above my head, by the way. The camera is. And then run it through here and then into there. So you gotta bring the throttle around, hold it, put this on the end of the cable, slide that into the hole right there, and then let go of this and hope that the cable stays in the groove inside this little cam or quadrant. I don't know exactly what to call it, but that's what I'm going to be doing. I can't really get an angle of that because it's in a tight space. And if I put the camera on that side, you'd only see that side. If I put the camera over here, you'd only see my back. And if I put the camera right over the top, I think you'd only see the top of the carburetor, because it's just not an easy way to do it and get an angle of it. But I'm gonna hold this. It may sound gross. I was probably the first person with Corona in the United States because I keep buying Chinese parts and I put stuff in my mouth to hold on to it while I've got both of my hands tied up. Let's see here. We got to go deep. I think I can get it all through here. Spaghetti. One of my favorite meals, by the way. Spaghetti. Alright, see. We should be able to tidy things up and move and manipulate and fix things after the fact. But as of right now, throttle cable's got to go in. And you want to make sure you do this as close to first as possible. And because you turn that little thing and you've got your finger on the throttle blade, so you can free up one hand to push the cable. Sometimes this cable has a plastic sleeve over it and it doesn't want to. You got to run the cable through and get it to pop out the side so you can grab a hold of it. A lot of times I can do that without having to get a pick and stuff. That's what I'm trying to do. The cable's got a natural left-hand lean to it, so it should want to come on out of here. There's just so much in the way. That cable, there it is. I got it. Shoot far. All right. I got to get it to thread onto that little turn up deal. Of course, we got dirt or something in the way of the deck gum and the threads here. Get the keeper out of my mouth. Don't drop the keeper. It's also not steel, so also not magnetic. Sorry, not talking a whole lot on this part because concentration is key. Can you see my face? Do you see how hard I'm concentrating? Yeah. Concentration. The cable don't want to go through the keeper. Are you playing games with me, four-wheeler? I'll keep on trying. Maybe that's not what I thought it was. It sure enough ain't. here trying to put this stuff back in the bag, and the bag is just barely bigger than my finger. So as I'm trying to hold the bag open, I keep missing putting the part in. There's the right keeper. You get to see the first real mistake, I guess. If I let this video go. I had the wrong part. Hopefully this four-wheeler doesn't need to have one of the other jets. The jet and the keeper feel very similar, and I was trying to put the jet where the keeper goes. It has spare jets, I guess, so that you can try a different so that you can tune the carburetor with a different jet in it. It's a little bit frustrating as a mechanic to know that you were just sitting there trying to put a jet where in the place of something else, but I know I've got a good excuse. You got throttle control now. And now you set the throttle by turning the sleeve has a little, like a long nut the sleeve of the cable runs down into. And you want to set your throttle where it's hitting the throttle stop screw instead of the snatching on the cable of the, see? Now we're at perfect. As soon as I move this, you hear the carburetor clicking. It's because it's hitting the throttle stop in the carburetor. So you can adjust your main idle with that. Then I will get all these dadgum hoses moved out of the way. Holy moly, all the dang hoses. I'm not going to remember where any of those go. There's a hose there that I put the throttle cable around, so now I got to pull it back out, put it back on. And again, I'm about to start working fast because I feel like at any moment I'm going to have a customer pull up, like I did in the last video, and he's a good guy. He wasn't impatient, but I have some of them that are not patient enough. I knew I could continue that video with him standing there and he'd be fine with it. He says he watches the channel, so that's kind of neat. And sometimes getting the new carb to go back in the rubber intake tube is not the easiest. And it's starting. I'm starting to finally warm up. I've been freezing cold all day. I'm starting to finally. It's 62 degrees, and I'm out here wearing a dang coat. I even got thermals on. I am a cold-natured fella. Later on, the videos will be 100-degree temperatures outside, and I'm out here just fine. And sometimes these dang intake tubes just do not want to cooperate. I'll try loosening the band clamp up more. Maybe that's its problem. I think it's a small Phillips screwdriver. I don't know if it's the right size or not. It worked. Okay. Get it stuck back on there. I think I just lost the. I hope not. No. Okay. I thought it was the freaking choke just I heard fall, but it may have been. Oh, okay. It was the. Okay, you gotta let go. What in the devil? How? Oh man. Alright, so now my choke control cable has gotten wrapped around the dadgum hose clamp. Are you kidding me? How in the... Oh my God. The spring got wrapped up in the hose clamp. That's stupid. Whatever. I couldn't have made that happen if I wanted it to. And I had to take all that back apart, put it back together. Now, they don't want to slide. I gotta bring the cable up to me some because it's a little too long, which is usually not the problem I have with these cables. Usually if I buy one, they're stupid short. And you got to route it a different way just because it's too short. This one's too long, which too long is going to be easier. Dadgummit, quit coming off. Than too short. I need this. Where is it? I need this to pull out like that a little, so I can make sure it don't pop off while I try to thread the stupid plastic nut. And I don't know why they do all of them in plastic. They, like every four-wheeler has plastic choke cable retaining nut doohickey on it, and I don't understand that. Why did they put such a chintzy setup on those? And they get stuck a lot. I have loosened and loosened and loosened that strap, that loosen the crap out of that band clamp, where it finally let me put the carburetor in, but it's still, after getting the carburetor slid in, it's still tight. So we're going to tighten it up more, because we just don't want that carb to fall off. And on these, like a lot of times you can take these four-wheelers and run them with this carb open like this. not on a Yamaha, they have an air bleed that goes to the slide. That it's a big, like 10 mil inside diameter hose, and it when I was putting that in, the dang. So right now we're just putting all the little cables and like the idle control wheel doohickey back where it goes, because it popped out of the holder that it has on the side of the car. Something just flew off. What was that? Okay, so the throttle, the fuel hose, I'm going to have to probably get some fuel hose, because I don't know if I have the right size for this. And if this stuff don't quit popping off, I'm not going to be able to remember where it goes. Everything keeps popping off the carburetor. Stay on there. Golly. All right. Got that. Because I think that little Y section here, what is this? You got multitude of different thingamajigs here. I had a Y-shaped hose and all this stuff that goes on here. Let's see here. Got another hose. Now, a lot of times, none of the hoses make a difference on how a thing runs. Not exactly sure why. Here's the Y-shaped hose I was looking for. And that goes where this one, the new hose that was on it, was hooked up to. And now I'm touching the, not a dirty word, petcock on the carburetor, on the gas tank, and it's getting nasty rancid gas all down the back of my hand. That's what you want to have on you when you're going to church and things. Yeah, I probably needed that too. Alright. Everything's close to the way it needs to be because of how it is. So alright, that hose clamp there I may have tightened back up so it doesn't fall off. I think one of my children came through here and kicked the air box, which of course had some hardware in it, which I've got some hardware. Metric hardware, that's something that's hard to find in my neighborhood. Unless you're at my house, you go looking through the bolt bucket, but it's a 5-gallon bucket full of bolts. And there's no way to organize that, it's just there. But somebody's been in this before, because they don't put the hose clamp on top like that. Usually it's always on the bottom. And because it's me and I like the way I do things, I'm going to put all the screw faces facing the side of the four-wheeler that I'm currently on, so that I don't have to run back and forth across the machine trying to find the screw faces of all these clamps. So this little hose goes on a tube on the side, on the carburetor. I'm not sure, I think y'all can see that. If you don't have that hooked up, or if it's busted right here, or this hose is cracked in any way, it will not run right most of the time. Like sometimes you can get them to run pretty good that way, but it's not. It doesn't usually work for you. And then you're fighting it, and you can't figure out what the problem is, and you know the whole time. And you even get some people will get a carburetor even. They're gonna get them a carburetor and all this, and they put the new carb on it, does the same thing, and the whole time all it was you had a crack in your air inlet tube. I've seen them too, the crack on the other side of the carburetor, or it be leaking, have a vacuum leak on that side, and it's hard to get the carburetor set and have problems. And makes you want to take a shotgun to it. But we might have to go up top with that clamp because of the way that the carburetor's shaped. Go easier, trying to make it easier on myself. Here. I think if I go like that, it'll put the face of the screw, or the face of the screw of the clamp facing straight up. So then that way, maybe I can get to it with my little screwdriver here. Yeah. Alright. Now, in theory, a fuel line hooked to this guy and she should run with a hot battery, and just off the bottom of that tube, see, it should work. But I kind of would like to go ahead and get the air box back in and go over all these hoses and things one more time, make sure they are hooked in the right places. And I think there's a overflow, probably one of the overflow hoses I have not hooked up, but there's almost no room. The carburetor's almost sitting on the case. I don't even know if it don't even feel like it had an overflow drain on it. The old carburetor don't feel like it had one either. So this one may not have had an overflow drain on it. Maybe that's it. Yep, that's it. It did. Well, I should have known. They wouldn't do it that way. Gotta have an overflow. It's just incredibly difficult to get the hose on it. It probably was never hooked up all the way. Yeah, there's a harness and stuff that's laying right there. How do you get that on there? I think I got it. So, anyway. I think we're good now. I've got to get the vent tube for the rear diff up in the clips that I popped off. That I got to put the choke cable in the clips that I popped off. And then that's That's all fine and good. Hey, this one has pull start on it. Imagine pull start in a 400. Holy crap. And we've got, gas was on, so that's why every time I shook the machine I got gas down the back of my hand. I got too close. Whoa. Alright, let's see. We got my air box assembly. Which has another hose for the snorkel. Gotta have a snorkel. See? There we go. And yeah, I don't think there's pieces of an air filter left in there, but no hardware. So, and then I gotta find the top. There's some go juice, and now somebody's calling me. Well, that's about half of the install of the carburetor. That's not what I need. I'm going to have to search and find all of the little pieces and parts, because I remember some stuff getting kicked around over here. So I do believe, whereas I could have put the airbox top back on the airbox, and I did not do that. Here's the new air filter kit. Because I didn't do that, I may have now have a wild goose chase and trying to find my air breather top. Which I guess worst case scenario I have to buy one for them. Should be able to find it. There's a Chinese motor. Why is it sitting there? Oh, it's locked up. That's why it's sitting there. Ain't no good. That's why. It's locked up. Completely. It's a good motor though. Whole complete one. Let's see. So yeah, I'm not going to keep y'all on the video. I still got to charge the battery. We're going to do a will it run, I guess, now after that, but I'll get everything situated and come back to it. At least now all the hard stuff is done. It's just going to be, got to find some hardware for the airbox, got to find the top of the airbox, got a sparking plug and some other stuff in here. And then we'll go get some oil and things like that. But if I could edit, I would just put it all on one video. Because I can't edit, this is what you get. I'm sorry. Thank you for tuning in to the most rookie YouTube channel on YouTube. But as far as, I'm not a YouTuber. I just play one on YouTube. Anyhow, we'll get all that stuff together. And y'all like, share, subscribe. Big time on the share. I need the sharing to happen. I need y'all to get in touch with whatever feelings you have to get in touch with to share as much as possible. Y'all stay blessed.